Oh, I know that sound. It's time for the Beer News Report. Hi, and welcome to the Beer News Report. Cheers. Today, I'm drinking Trends by Barrel Brothers. I saw this in the beer rack and it said, the one where we made a smoothie beer. I was curious what a smoothie beer tastes like, so I bought it. Look at this beer. All right, it is definitely a smoothie beer. Now this is pineapple guava smoothie flavored beer, and you definitely taste it. As for the beer itself, the first thing you know is that it's thick, right? That's what a smoothie is, right? And that's a weird feeling for a beer. And it's very fruity. The fruit flavor comes over more than the beer flavor. So you have to like a sweet, fruity taste. Now, is it drinkable? Yeah. I've had smoothies before, and tastes like a smoothie. It's just that it's not what I expected, right? There's a certain beer taste and feel that I'm used to, and this doesn't have that at all. Now, I could have another one, right? I've had smoothies. This tastes like a smoothie, but it's not something I would drink, so let's say, at a Super Bowl party, right? This is more for a party with creatives, or for some reason, I'm thinking of having this with vegans. I don't know. In any case, I think you should give this beer a try if you like smoothies. And even though this is 7% alcohol, you really don't taste it, right? Just tastes like a smoothie. Cheers. What the hell happened to cryptocurrency? I knew that it was risky, but this seems ridiculous. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are tanking. Cryptocurrency trading companies are filing for bankruptcy, and owners of these companies are going to trial and possibly to jail. How did this happen? Well, that's what the subject of this show is all about. What happened to cryptocurrency, and is there any future in it? A disclaimer, I have owned cryptocurrency in the past. I don't own it anymore. It was called XRP. So I may be biased to the positive side of this, okay? In any case, grab a beer, your favorite snack, because the show's about to begin. Cheers. Okay, the first thing I want to point out is I had predicted this from the beginning. Well, okay, not to the point where the CEOs are being put in jail, but I called out the crash of the crypto. Now, if you remember my show called the Deutsche Bank Report, in this show, I compared the growth of blockchain and cryptocurrencies to the growth of the internet and .com companies. Here, take a look. On page 60 of this report, there's a cool graph comparing the growth of the internet users to blockchain users. As you can see from this graph, the growth of blockchain users is following the same pattern as the internet users. Just to be clear, the top line is the internet users, and the bottom line is the blockchain users. The dotted line represents the projected growth. Now, the next step is to make the correlation, just like the .com bubble popped, so with the cryptocurrency bubble. Here, I'll show you. But getting back to blockchain user growth and the effects on cryptocurrency, it looks like we will have a cryptocurrency bubble in 2023. And if it is similar to the .com bubble, then we may lose up to 50% or more of the cryptocurrencies out there. Does that mean that cryptocurrency will go away? Well, did internet companies go away after the .com bubble? No. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I did give a timeline, and I was right. I said the bubble, meaning the crash, would happen around 2023, and it did. Now, if I could only do that, be that good at predicting stocks, hey, my life's going to be great. Cheers. Now let's dig deeper into what happened over at FTX. FTX is a cryptocurrency exchange that offers leverage trading, meaning that the traders can make bets on the price movements of various cryptocurrencies using borrowed funds. Because of this, FTX and other leverage trading platforms can have significant impact on the prices of cryptocurrencies traded on their platforms. When traders use these platforms to make large bets, it can cause the price of a cryptocurrency to fluctuate rapidly. This in turn affects the prices of other cryptocurrencies and the overall cryptocurrency market sentiment. It's also important to note that FTX is a relatively new player in the crypto market. It's not as established as one of the big players. That would be like Binance or Huobi. It's not big enough to move the market on its own. However, it can still have an impact on the prices of specific cryptocurrencies that it lists and trades in high volume. The key here is leveraged. That means that FTX would go into debt buying more cryptocurrency. Now, this is fairly common. In fact, I do it all the time with stocks, and FTX isn't the only one doing it. But how does leverage work? Here's a video explaining this. The YouTube channel is called Money and Macro. I really like this one. I have the link listed below, but here's the video.
And let's call it Straight Arrow Capital. When its investments doubled in value, so did the claims of the shareholders on these investments. Now let's compare it to a risky leveraged hedge fund, and let's call it 4 Arrows Capital. Borrowing money meant that it could invest twice as much in the market as Straight Arrow Capital. It therefore would have made twice as much money. But because debt claims are fixed, all of this growth now benefits the claims of the shareholders. So while the shareholders of Straight Arrow Capital doubled their investment, the shareholders of 4 Arrows Capital almost quadrupled it. This is the awesome power of leverage. While the investment strategy of both funds is exactly the same, the leaders of 4 Arrow Capital look like geniuses compared to their boring counterparts at Straight Arrow Capital. And this is not exactly a new phenomena, because it is precisely what happened before the great financial crisis of 2008.
So using leverage is common, and it makes you look like a genius when things are going up. But what happens when things are going down? Well, let's have a drink and talk about it. Cheers. Just as leverage helps you when things are going up, it destroys you when things are going down. Using the same video from Money and Macro, here's how leveraging hurts you when things go down.
Let's say that the investment portfolio that they had would now lose half of its value. For Straight Arrow Capital, the calculations remain simple. Now its investors lose half of their investment. However, the same price decrease has very different implications for the leveraged hedge fund. It had invested twice as much, and therefore it loses twice as much. But since the fund will still have to repay its borrowers in full, the shareholders lose their entire investment. Leverage multiplied their losses, and in this case it means that the leverage hedge fund 4 Arrows Capital will go broke, while Straight Arrow Capital is still standing.
Now you know what killed FTX. The company was too leveraged that when things went down, it lost all the investors' money and then some. I'm not going to go into the crimes that the owner, Sam Bankman-Fried, may have or have not done. That's for the courts to decide. But before you point your finger and say, crush him, or it's time to get rid of crypto, let's take a look at the past and see what the government did. All right? Cheers. Do you remember what happened in 2008? That's when we had the financial crisis and all the banks were about to declare bankruptcy. What did the government do? Well, it bailed them out to the tune of $700 billion. This all happened because the banks used leverage to make more profits because they were betting on American real estate, and we all know that American real estate never goes down. Well, we learned the falsehood of that the hard way. Basically, the government had to do it or we would have gone into a depression greater than the Great Depression of 1929. Plus, the banks have a lot of high-powered lobbyists working for them to pull the strings. Unfortunately, cryptocurrencies aren't as big as the banks, and they don't have the lobbyists like the banks do. So the chances of them getting bailed out is extremely low. Just like the dot-com companies, the cryptocurrency companies are going to go broke. Not all of them, but a lot of them. But also like the dot-com bubble, some companies will survive and new ones will be formed. Think about it. Google survived the dot-com bubble and Facebook came after the bubble. I'm sure the same thing's going to happen with cryptocurrencies. And here's the reason why. Well, hold on. Let's have a drink first. Cheers. The stronger dot-com companies made it through because the internet was too powerful of a technology to die off. New companies came from it because it was something that we can't live without. Cryptocurrency has a technology that is too good to let die. That technology? It's blockchain. Cryptocurrency brought blockchain to the forefront so everyone could learn about it. But it has so much more to give. It can be used for smart contracts, insurance, real estate, voting, government benefits like Social Security and Medicare. And since we're talking about healthcare, not only would your medical files be secure with blockchain, but when you change doctor, your new doctor would be able to access your medical files on day one instead of having to wait to get them from your old doctor. Then there's NFTs, or non-fungible tokens. These are ways to secure your rights to digital art. Blockchain can be used to secure royalties for artists of music or film when their art is being streamed. There are so many ways that blockchain can be used that, like the internet, it has no choice but to keep growing. This bubble that happened with FTX and other crypto companies is just a hiccup in the growth of blockchain. Expect to see more companies making more apps or IPOing because that's the blockchain technology effect. Yeah, cheers. Well, You can see my beer's almost empty, and that means we're at the end of the show. If you want to contact me, you can reach at this email address. I hope you had a good time and figured out what's happening with cryptocurrencies and blockchain. Please click that like button if you like the show. Of course, if you want to get notified of new shows, you click that subscribe button and the little bell icon next to it. This will notify you when a new show is being posted. Till then, keep your smoothie cool and your interest hot. Cheers.